Welcome back. The media is just getting more and more ridiculous with their anti-Trump hatred. Listen to this one MSNBC host drop all pretense of objectivity and actually give Joe Biden advice on how to counter the president during this crisis.
Do they need to do it in a bigger way? What did you just call it? The president's daily clown show? That's his press briefing. Should Joe Biden be counter-programming that? Should he be creating his own shadow government, shadow cabinet, shadow SWAT team, and getting up there at a podium every night saying, here's the crisis we're in, here's what we need to do to address this?
And here's Sleepy Joe's latest attack on Trump's leadership.
These are people who are frightened and they're looking for leadership. And what bothers me so much is the President of the United States doesn't take responsibility. The President of the United States acts like this is not his, nothing is his fault. Nothing is his responsibility.
Terrible.
All right. Dana, I'm not really sure who that was on MSNBC. I don't think she was a primetime host because I've never seen her in primetime before. So she shouldn't really be giving that much of an opinion. I guess she's during the day or something. That seemed a little out of bounds, in my opinion. What do you think?
Jesse. I actually, like, regardless of what hour she's on, it's such a bad idea. It is such a bad idea. It's so terrible. I mean, we've just spent a week and a half talking about how there's confusion about whether the federal government or the governors are going to reopen the economy. And now we all agree, okay, so there's collaboration and the governors help make decisions based on some guidelines to get from the federal government. Look, I understand that Joe Biden is in a bind. That's bad. But what she is suggesting, one, it is a terrible idea if you are a patriotic American, because you cannot have two presidents at the same time. You have one president at a time. And I'm sorry they're in this predicament where they have to try to campaign during a pandemic, but that's the situation they're in. This idea is like what I used to do with my sister when I got home from school. After I had an after-school snack, I would make her play school with me. And this is like playing government. You don't do this for, it's like make-believe, and I think it would just make terrible, terrible sledding for Joe Biden.
Yeah, well, you played school, and Gutfeld probably played doctor. What do you think, Greg?
I think I saw that joke coming like a Frisbee in the desert, about 10 miles away. All right. What I find interesting is that Joe literally is in the shadows. That's what's so funny about her commentary.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Nobody, Joe, Nancy, Chuck, Liz, AOC, nobody can answer the question, what would you do differently than Donald Trump? What would you do when? When would you start the economy? How would you do it? They can't say it because they know they have a 50% chance of being wrong. So they're petrified of actually raising their hand and going, oh, I have an idea, let's do it now. They can't. So instead, they're not going to step forward. What they're going to do is they're going to wait for President Trump to flip the switch or the dimmer, and any collateral damage that there is, then they will leap forward and they would go, ha, we wouldn't have done that. No, sirree, we wouldn't have done that. You did that too late, or you didn't do enough, or you did too much, or you're an autocrat, or you didn't take control. But they will not tell you when they're going to start. They're not going to tell you how they're going to start because they're too scared of being wrong.
You're right, because I think Biden stuck his neck out early on the travel ban, and he was dead wrong. Juan, grade Joe Biden's, I guess, performance in this quarantined campaign. Would you give him an A, a B, or C, and then why would you give him that grade?
Well, I think that in Biden's case, it's a matter of getting out in public and not allowing the virus, which has changed the whole campaign landscape definitely for everybody on either side here, not allowing himself to be pushed out of any spotlight because he's not campaigning. So what you get is he's now on TV more than ever, and of course he's doing those live streams from his basement in Delaware somewhere. So he's on a lot of TV, and he has also, as I mentioned, these streaming efforts that are going out. So I think it's gotten much better. In terms of a grade, I'd say initially not so good, and now pretty good. But, you know, he's up against President Trump, who has his daily press briefing that's as the president likes to say, on par with the Bachelor's finale and Monday Night Football. I do think that, in answer to this question, though, I think everyone I've met who's run for president thinks they're about to win. And so if you're going to win in this environment, you better have a plan. And I don't think there's any reason that he shouldn't be saying to the American people, here's how I would be dealing with it. And I think that he's been pretty clear, and I think others have said so as well. We need to do a better job when it comes to testing in this country, providing supplies to our medical workers, making sure that the bank computers don't get all screwed up when we try to deliver stimulus checks to our workers. These are legitimate criticisms of this administration, and he's got to be able to say, I would do a better job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Katie, maybe he could ask Liz Warren to have a little help with the plan. She now wants to be his VP.
That is true, but do we really think that Joe Biden is capable of running a shadow government? He can hardly run his own interviews when he's he can hardly figure out what day it is at this point. There's no way he could start running a shadow government. And I'm sure that the Communist Party of China would love for Joe Biden to start doing something like that, considering he's been lax on China, he's been sympathetic to them, his son has business ties to China, which questionably may still be there. I mean, he was against the travel ban and allowing, people going in and out of the country while the virus was spreading around the world. I mean, I'm sure they would love for him to continue the work of the World Health Organization and covering for China on this issue.
And he still needs to learn how to cough into his elbow. We're going to give him a little suggestion.
Exactly.
Coming up next.